I knew I always wanted to stay around the sport. I didn't know exactly how or what. I always thought I'd be a big leaguer like every kid does. I mean, these last 5 years, it wasn't easy by any means. It wasn't just, I know people and it happened. It took times where I was working 3 jobs at a time, just trying to keep it going.
This is Spirit 52, recapturing the real spirit of high school sports in Arkansas. Presented by Gatorade and First Security Bank, inspiring us all to what's possible.
Fayetteville native Tim Carver has had a roller coaster career over the past decade. He's now the head baseball coach at Mountain Home High School, but it all started back during his playing days at Fayetteville High School under Vance Arnold.
Playing for Coach Arnold was it was awesome, really. He was just the kind of person, he was going to look out for you and try to help you out. And you had to work hard, you had to play hard, you had to do things the right way.
He had a great attitude, loved baseball, loved to practice, worked hard. After college, we talked several times. He talked about coaching, how to become a coach, what he needed to do.
But before he became a coach, Carver played 5 years for Dave Van Horn at Arkansas, just a few blocks away from his high school.
Growing up, I wasn't born here, but Norm DeBryan was at my church, St. Joseph's, here in town. And after I got to know him a little bit, that's really where I became a Razorback fan. Whenever I got the opportunity to go there was no doubt that's what I wanted to do.
I was in our program 5 years, played the World Series a couple of times, and it's not too many guys that can say that they played in the College World Series twice in their career.
First time there, did get a play when Cockle was pitching, made that double play with Bo Bigham. That's a highlight that I'll always remember.
It's a pretty special feeling knowing that, hey, this guy used to play the highest level of college baseball. Just the experience and the knowledge, you can't beat it, having a guy like him around.
When Carver's playing days were done at Arkansas, he was drafted in the 19th round of the MLB draft by the Philadelphia Phillies, but he only lasted 1 season in the minor leagues.
It's a job. It's $1,600 a month. In the off season, you don't get paid, so you got to work there. My first 5 days, I guess, in the minor league system, Ryan Howard was doing his rehab. He was playing first base whenever I was shortstop. We were going to get our assignments where we were going, starting to change into my uniform, and they just kind of tapped me on the shoulder, said, hey, we need to talk. Packed up my stuff, drove home. Got a long time to think about what happened.
After the minors, Carver needed to finish his degree, and he wanted to get into coaching. So he reached out to Van Horn to be a volunteer assistant coach for Arkansas.
I wanted to learn from him, and I wanted to coach baseball. I was just trying to do any avenue I could to get there. It just worked out to where they had another spot. The second year, he let me be the first base coach, and I got to be on the first base box again in Omaha.
Tim was an assistant for a couple years. He knows how to coach, and he did a good job while he was here.
And treated me like another coach. I was there under him or playing or coaching for 7 years, so I try to model after him as much as possible. It's hard to do because he does such a great job. I kind of consider him as kind of like another father. Those 7 years, those college years, it's a whirlwind. And I lost my father in the middle of that. It's just he was always there, supportive. There's not anything I could do or say that really is enough for what he's done to me and for what he means to me.
After Carver's 2 years as a volunteer assistant coach at Arkansas, he landed an assistant coaching job in West Plains, Missouri. After a year there, he got the job in Mountain Home, where he's in his first season right now.
Before he got the job, we talked about the interview process, tried to help him understand, as a baseball coach, you're going to have to teach in the classroom and be a part of the school system.
Well, I'm always excited to see our guys have success, and I guess he did a really good job interviewing is what I was told, and wanted the job. It's a good school. Tim's prepared for it. I'm happy for him.
It opened up and I interviewed, and it was kind of a tough process. There's a lot of competition that wanted it. I don't know, I guess they wanted to take a chance with me.
I'm not going to lie, it was pretty scary at first, getting to know a new guy, getting to work under somebody new. I talked to him right after he was hired and got an idea of who he was, what he liked to do, and that made me feel a little more comfortable and at ease with him.
Just had a son. He had a little bit of trouble there. We were at Children's Hospital for 2 weeks. Whenever that happened, I ended up missing a couple practices, and it really changed perspective and put things like, hey, it's incredible what a kid can do for you.
As a person, he's really developed. He's married and got his first child. He's proud of that. He understands the path about growing and maturing, and it's just fun to see him take on that role with other kids.
I hope you enjoyed this week's story brought to you by First Security Bank. Here's a sneak peek at next week's episode.
I want I want players that play multiple sports. It shows me that this young man can be coached in different ways.
Yeah, I've been preparing my whole life for that. Obviously in high school I've been playing both, and I've had help along the way with Coach Holloway and Coach Jones. It's going to take a lot more, but I think there's going to be people up there that will help me. I think Coach Van Horn and Coach Morris obviously helped me a lot with that.
The fact that those guys know that I know what it takes to get to the World Series, and likewise with Tim, and just I think that's the biggest.
He's a great guy. We hang out a lot.
We're a real close-knit group, and you know it's always laughs around this team, and as you can see,